Hi FlossTube friends, I'm Sherry, Colorado Cross Stitcher here on YouTube, also on Instagram, and I have a cross stitch shop at coloradocrossstitcher.com. So this is my channel about my own personal stitching and also some shop updates and news at the end. Well, welcome back. It's been a while since I was here and I've done a lot of things since I saw you guys last. I went to Germany, which I told you about last time, and had a wonderful time there with my friend, and also went to the Zweigart factory, which I put in my newsletter. I hope you get our newsletters. And I also put a picture of the factory, like the weaving machines, on my Instagram account. So if you don't get our newsletter, or at least didn't do that, at least go and see that, because it was amazing. They have 40 weaving machines at Zweigart. And she told me they added 4 during COVID, so they had 36. Anyway, we weren't allowed to take pictures, but she sent me some pictures of the factory itself, but it was really fun. I'm really glad to be able to picture where all of our Zweigart fabric comes from now. So anyway, that was a fun trip. And then of course the holidays. I hope you had a good holiday. Happy New Year to you. It is Friday night, February 3rd. We were crazy busy at the shop today. And so I thought I'd come home and do a quick video. Not a quick video, it's probably, I'm sure it's gonna be an hour like all of them, because I have so much to show you guys. So first of all, let's look at Book of Days calendars. So this is, well, I show you my month every time. So here's December. And then I thought I'd just flip through this since this one is now done. I'm retiring it because I have my new one ready to go. It's completely blank. I haven't even filled in any stickers or anything yet, so I may start that tonight. So look at the difference between the thicknesses. There you go, that's better. Yeah, so I add a lot of things to my Book of Days, and the first year I did a Book of Days, I wasn't very good about keeping up with it. I didn't do stickers and fun extra things, and then I found the more I add extra to personalize it, the more fun it is for me to look back on it. So here, just a quick flip through. So here is my opening page, and on this I just put stickers that I find that are bigger that I like, pictures of family, and of course Ollie and Lexi. And then every month I write in the things that I stitched that month, add a few extra stickers. Down the side I put the information on what projects I started and what the fabric was. So anyway, lots of stitching, lots of fun things that we did. And I just like being able to look back on it. And of course I love stickers. That's why it's all stickered up. And December. And then I put favorite cards or notes that I've gotten from people. I always include those, or floss cards that I've gotten that I love. Here I kept a list of my whips. As you can see, I did not do very well on that, but I've got a plan, which I'm going to talk about when we're done looking at all the projects that I have to show you. Then I want to also show you my projects that I want to start in 2025, projects that I'm going to finish in 2025, and projects that I want to make progress on in 2025. So, all right, and then I'm not quite done. I still have to fill in and do some writing, but my finishes pages, well, I forgot there's one that I can't show you. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Well, here, let's do this and this. All right. So I think I had 55 finishes this year. Last year was 67, so I was a slacker a little bit. I haven't counted up, usually I divide it into how many bigs, how many smalls, how many designs of my own designs that I did. So I haven't done that yet. I still have to do that. All right. And then just different fun things. Obviously I haven't finished my page on visit to Vicky's Needlework Press House and Attic Summer School, trip to Germany, a few pictures. Things of Note, haven't finished that up either. And then here I was going to tell you because what I did find helpful and what I didn't find helpful. So what I'm going to include in my 2025, what I'm going to forego. So I always add extra pages to the back of mine, and I just do cardstock. I don't know what weight, but cardstock. Anyway, here I had a quarterly plan of things, whips that I have, and how I'm going to work on them each quarter. So I felt like I at least had them scheduled in instead of feeling overwhelmed with, I've got a lot of whips, how am I going to tackle that? So I found that really helpful. As you can see, I did not do them all, but at least I did some of them. This I'm going to leave out. This was seasonals that I wanted to make this year, and I don't even know if I did, and I didn't go back and check them off if I did, but I don't think I'm going to keep track of that. I will keep track of patterns I want to make, just not in the seasonal thing like that. Audiobooks I've read, FlossTubes I did. What is this one? Oh, things I want to start, possible starts, so I am going to do that. And then the back page where again I put big stickers and things that I love. So Book of Days, I hope you're doing one for your own self, either the Book of Days or whatever calendar works for you. I think it's fun to look back and see all of the things that you have finished and done, and anyway, it's fun to look back on it. So Book of Days. All right, let's talk about things that I've worked on. I had a big finish that I'm super excited about. I don't even know where to put this. There's no room. Floor. I had a big finish that I'm excited about. I had some starts. I had some small finishes. So let's start with the small. So first of all, you know, I'm redoing the Birds of a Feather patterns. So we had 3 new patterns in the month of December, which I haven't shown you yet. And I guess I have to open these. So these are the kits. They come kitted, but you can also, of course, buy the patterns individually. So this is December Birthday Cat, and this is the one I did, and I did mine on 40 count straw, I think. And I made mine into a pin pillow. Well, I have the original one that was the model on the original cover because Megan sends me the models that she used when she can put her hands on them. So this was the original one, and I think it was done on 32 count. And they call this series the Birthday Cats because each month there's a cat dressed to the season, which of course I love. And then Nancy, I think Nancy's the one that designed these. Nancy put one of her family members and their birth date on it. So the pattern itself has, the chart is charted like this, but I chose to just do mine as a little decorative pin pillow to tuck on a shelf. So you can add that. I mean, you could also put Merry Christmas. There's a full alphabet in your pattern along with, and then the rest of the page is graph paper so you can graph it out, but Merry Christmas, tidings of joy, you know, whatever you want to put on here. Or if you want to do a wall of your relatives' birthdays like they did, that's an option too. So that was one that I stitched since last time. And I love these little cats. So there will be a new one every month for 12 months. So I will be stitching that. You know, I stitched a lot of those Prairie Schooler Santas, and then I stitched 2 of the Birds of a Feather Santas, and then I stitched one other ornament. Anyway, I had ended up with 12 ornaments, 9, 10, 11, 12 ornaments that I turned into, you know, finished so I could put on the tree this year. And we got a little tree that goes on one of the tables in our living room, and it just has the handmade ornaments, and it's so cute, but sparse. Because I look at, you know, people like Caroline55, Carol, who is the one that inspired me to do this, and her tree is gorgeous. But you know what? One a month, and you'll have a full tree in 3 years. So I'm going to continue doing that. I'm not sure I'm going to get to one a month because I need to do one of the birthday cats every month for the next year. So still up in the air about that, but I will make some progress on ornaments because it's really fun to have them. Okay, the next thing I worked on was Santa Claus. And this is another Birds of a Feather that I remastered. And it's so cute. I think it was done on a brown fabric in the original. I talked to Megan, who owns Birds of a Feather, about this, and she agreed to the change. And this is, the fabric is Under the Mistletoe by Forbidden Fiber. And I just think it's so cute on that green, just kind of pops. Now here's the thing, because there's another pattern coming out in January that also has this going on in it. So Nancy, when she designed them, she liked to add a few stitches here and there, take a few stitches out, just to make it more whimsical, just to make it more fun. And so I charted it the way that she did that, and I stitched it the way that she did that. But I'm going to hold this up again, and you might look at some of the birdhouses, have a few extra stitches on the side. Sometimes they're missing a stitch. There are 2 stitches missing in the white at the bottom of Santa's coat. That is the way she designed it. So I stitched mine that way. Of course, I don't know if you can see, but of course you can stitch yours like that, or you can fill them in and make those birdhouses squared up. Well, I feel like my arm's wiggling. So, and another one we have, oh, it's not January, I think it's a February pattern coming out. Anyway, it has a lot of that going on. So just an FYI, you can stitch it as charted, or you can stitch it however you want. So those are 2 smalls that I did. Again, where will I put them? And then the third, as long as I'm showing the Birds of a Feather patterns from December, I'm going to show you this one. I did not stitch this one. This is the original model that Megan sent, and it's Red Reindeer. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's such a pretty neutral. Like, it doesn't, none of the colors shout at you, but it's just so subtle and soft. And of course, quick to do, because there's not a lot of motifs, but sprinkled in. I just think it's so pretty. And here are the colors, some of the colors on that. And pattern. So those are the 3 that came out for December. January we have 2 coming out, and I will show you that on my next FlossTube. All right, oh, here's one thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go off of cross stitch for a minute, because when I was in Germany, I took cross stitch to do, but since I don't have my magnifier and my light, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to do it. Well, I went to Claudia's house, my good friend Claudia, which is the person I always stay with. We became friends back when I owned the Loopy U, and she was one of my independent yarn dyers. She dyed the wool mice yarn that I absolutely love. So we alternate every other year going back and forth to each other's homes, which we've done for years. Anyway, I saw this in her window, and I thought, well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna work on cross stitching, I'm gonna work on knitting. I haven't knit anything for a year and a half. You know, I used to be a big knitter, and now I'm just a big stitcher. So I made Santa's laundry line. Isn't that cute? That's his long underwear. That's not an Elvis suit. It was so fun to knit up. And of course it didn't take that long, because they're all little things. But here's the thing. I got to tell you about my good friend Cheryl, because I was not, after doing these boots, and if you're a knitter, you know, casting on with double point needles, and you cast on like, I don't know, 16 or 18 stitches for these boots. And so you've got all these double points. And I'm happy with double points. I stitch socks on them, but socks are like 68 stitches on double points. Well, the little mittens and the little socks that go in the boots are like 12 stitches to cast on. And so I told my friend Cheryl when I got home, I showed her this, I'm like, but I'm not doing the mittens and the socks. I don't think Santa needs them. She said, oh, you have to have the mittens and the socks. I'm like, I do not want to knit that fiddly stuff. So she said, I'll knit them for you, it'll be fun. So my dear friend Cheryl knit the white socks and the little red mittens to complete my laundry line, which I love. having something that she knit on here. And when she got done, I said, it wasn't fun, was it? And she's like, no, it wasn't. So anyway, isn't that cute? It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will link to that in the show notes below. All right, let me show you a couple of starts that I had. The first one I just started because this is going to be my blessing sampler in January. I don't know who started that, but the idea of having a small sampler that you work on in the month of January, I think you're supposed to start and finish it in January. I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on myself. But it's kind of a sampler to bring you blessings in 2025. I don't really know, but I like the idea of a blessing sampler. So I started this, and what am I stitching it on? I think it's platinum. I think it's 36 count platinum. I didn't iron this one because I really literally just worked on it for the last 2 days. So here's my start, and I am stitching with 2 threads because I like the stronger color look on 36 count with 2 threads. So what I like, well, the reason I picked this is because it's so cheerful and happy, and I thought, well, that's how I want my 2025 to go. So it's interesting. I always think that when stitchers, and this is from Lila's Studio, and she has a SL 1862 regular size sampler that this is a part of. Here's where it was, here's the antique of it. So she did the full size sampler, and then she did this small sampler, and I just immediately keyed into the small sampler. But I always think when there are a lot of different colors, like look at the pots. When there are a lot of different colors, I thought, well, either that stitcher just loved bunches of color, or she was being very frugal and using up small bits of her yarn or of her threads. So that appealed to me about this one too. So I'm enjoying working on that. I did have to swap out the white. Okay, here's the lesson I learned. This is also a knitting lesson. Back when I was a knitter and I hadn't come back to stitching yet, we always said if you're knitting on something and you're thinking, oh, I don't know if this is going to be big enough, or you're thinking, oh, I think this is going to be too big, always stop and fix it. Instead, a lot of people just go along and think, oh, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not going to rip it out. It's going to be fine. And that is what happened with this, because I used the called for, which is parchment and ragdoll, for the whites. See those flowers? And I kept thinking, like I did half of one, and I thought, I think that blends in with the fabric too much. And I thought, well, it'll be fine. So I did a full flower, and then I did another flower, and I just kept thinking, I don't know. Well, then I thought, well, I'll outline it. Then it'll be good. Well, I outlined it, and I didn't like it. So I ended up taking all the flowers out and restitching them with B5200, which is DMC whitest white. So here's a lesson to you. If you're stitching something and you don't like the color, and you're trying to talk yourself into the fact that surely it'll be fine, and you do like the color, just stop. Maybe stop and give it a rest for a day, because maybe you'll come back to it in a day and you'll think, yeah, I do kind of like that color. I think it's fine. Or what would happen with me probably is I'll come back and say, yeah, I still don't like it. And then you spend all that time taking it out. So there's my lesson there. And I should have learned that, because I know that as a knitter. Never works out. All right, I had 2 fun starts in the month of December. I felt like I was trying to do a little bit of Christmas. There are actually several larger Christmas patterns that I really want to do, but I started 2. So the first one I started is, well, I'll show you this one. So I didn't get that far, but you know, it's a start. And I'm not going to wait until next December to do it, because I'd really like to have it framed and up on the wall by next December. So that is Peace on Earth by Samplers Not Forgotten. And you know, to me that house looks red in the picture, but it really is. I use the called for colors. It really is more, it looks pink in the picture. It really is more red is what I'm meaning to say. Which is fine. I love it. I love the colors. I love the variegated thread. I think it shows up so pretty in those trees. A little bit of variegation. Can't remember what color that is, but, and I think that I'm doing it on 40 count. I think I'm doing it on linen, the color linen. That's always confusing when you're trying to tell people you're doing it on linen. Let me see if I wrote it down. This is where I'm supposed to keep track of those things. Oh, Peace on Earth. Oh no, it's Cream and Sugar. Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. That's another one of my favorites. So anyway, I'll get back to that. So that is one of the projects. When I go through my project bags over here that I have, include this one mentally in there because I'm going to finish that one this year. And then, and I just realized I didn't pull the pattern. So, did I? No. Kathy Barrick came out with Quaker stocking, which I love Kathy Barrick's Quakers. It was brand new and I could not wait to dive into it. And she charted it both as a stocking, and you know, her stockings are those that are really long with a long pointed toe. I just made the embroiderist this year and I showed that a couple of FlossTubes ago, but on this one, I wanted to do the long piece. So she charted it as a stocking with a toe that goes off to the side, or she charted it as one long piece. And I just fell in love with the idea of having a really long, narrow piece framed and on the wall. And I am doing this on the called for, which is Fiber on a Whim, but I can't remember what it is. Fiber on a Whim wheat, 40 count. And here's my progress so far. Oh, here we go. I wish I had the pattern because it's so cute and it has joy and peace and Noel. I think those words more towards the bottom. And I love this swan in the dark. Isn't that gorgeous? And it has a lot of the trees, a lot of the snowflakes. Bonnie at work is also going to make this, but she's going to leave the Merry Christmas off the top to make it more of a year-round or kind of a winter piece, which you could totally do. I'm fine with keeping Christmas up all year though, so I'm doing it with all the Christmas words. But anyway, that's Kathy Barrick's Quaker stocking, Quaker Christmas stocking, something really fun though. And that's another one that I will finish this year because I want it on my wall ASAP. And then my big finish was the sampler I'm doing for I did for my dad. And I started this before he passed away 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, because I wanted to start it while he was still with us. And I've worked on it on and off. The reason I picked this one, well, first of all, because I love all the houses, and also because there's a lot of room to personalize. I'm going to hold this up closer. This is Family Patchwork. It was the Modern Folk Embroidery 2020 Stitch Along, which he does a new one each year. And I'm going to hold it up so you can look at all of the different places where there are initials. And then I'll show you how I personalize that. So up in each section almost, there are spaces to put initials. It would be a really good, I guess that's why it's called Family Patchwork, but it would be a really good pattern to stitch all of the initials of your own family members. Because like I said, there's just so many places. So then, let me put it on a board and see if that'll help. So I just decided in December I wanted to get it done. I mean, I've wanted to get it done for a while, but part of me too, I don't know. I was hoping it wouldn't be too sad and emotional to finish it and see his name on it, but it wasn't. When I got it done, I loved the different personal things that remind me of him, and I really liked how it came out. So here is the finish. It was a lot of stitching. I did it in MPI silk, and this is 40 count platinum, I believe. And I used 1.5 hanks of the silk. I bought 4 just in case. I have no idea. So I'm going to tell you where I personalized it. So up in the top, I have his parents' initials in this top one. And then, okay, these are supposed to be coins. You know, there's only so much space that you can do your own little design, but my dad was a coin investor. He collected coins as an investment, so I put coins there. And then on the very bottom one is his name and when he was born and when he passed. My initials and Paul's, well, this is Paul and I over here. Where? Yeah, P.S. B. My brother's initials. This is because he worked at Ralston Purina all of his days. And so I did that. And then over here in the top, I did my mom's initials, her maiden name initials, and then our kids' initials. This is my design of a Corvette. Really, I think it's 7 stitches tall. There's only so much you can do, but I thought it came out pretty good. My dad was a big Corvette person. And then down at the very bottom, basketballs, because he was a big basketball player in high school and college, and then where he was born. So a big project, and I'm so happy to have it finished, and I'm taking it into work tomorrow to get Sydney to frame it for me, which I cannot wait. So happy to be able to check that off of the finishes. And you know, Modern Folk has so many patterns that are one color patterns that I love, because you can do it in any pattern, in any color, of course, that you want. Now, I do love red samplers, but I did it blue because my dad's eyes were blue and it reminded me of him. So I think it's fun to have a lot of different samplers, even one color samplers in different colors. So now I have another one, which I think is in my pile here for you to see, that I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do that one for Paul, and that is another intensive Modern Folk one, but I'm looking forward to working on that. Okay, and then the next finishes I want to show you are from last year's, not a month ago Advent calendar, but a month and a year ago Advent calendar. So I design patterns every year for the Advent calendar, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. This year I did 3. Well, I did 4, but 1 was a kit this year. Anyway, doesn't matter. So they are exclusive to the Advent, the Stitchers 12 Days of Christmas that we do for a whole year. And thank you to those of you who have emailed asking me when these are coming out. I really appreciate your interest in those. And so the ones from 2023 Advent are now out, and I wanted to show them to you. So I did kind of, you know, I have words for home that I do, and I've only done 4. I have a whole list of ones I want to do. It's just a time thing. But I have words for home in the bigger pattern, and the big pattern has 3 options, and it uses the same formula. So I have bloom. So there's always a tall one, and there's always a little town, and then there's always the word. So I have words for home bloom, words for home harvest, words for home joy, and words for home happy. So those are the regular patterns. Well, for the Advent last year, I did words for home minis. And so let's start. So one I did, and I really did different seasons, although I didn't do fall because I had just done the big words for home harvest. So let's start with the seasons. So winter is cozy, which may be my favorite one. I love the word cozy, and I love using that word in winter because it makes me think I just want to curl up with hot cocoa and stitch or read a good book. So this is the size pattern that cozy is. And when you open it up, so it opens up into a big pattern in color. So that's cozy, which I finished with white pom-poms. And then we have, for spring, we have grow, which is also a good word of the year. So if it happens to be your word of the year, I want to do that. And that is here, grow. And then I have relax for summer, which I thought that would be fun if you're on vacation, you know, to have put that in sight. If you are going to be going on vacation, if you have a vacation home, this would be a cute one to do. And that's here. And then the last one I did, like I said, I didn't do one for fall, but I did the word create because to me that is a word that we all need somewhere in our site, either in our stitching room or viewable from our stitchy chair to remind us to do the things we love. So here is create. And that's this one. So when I do the Advent stitching, I'm always a little bummed because I think, well, that's 4 pretty good sized projects that I'm stitching during those months that I can't show you. So I always feel like a little pressure to do a little extra that month because I need to have enough to show you on the FlossTube. So it is fun when I finally can show you that. And the ones that came out a month ago will be available next year, and I'll show you those at that time. For those of you who got the Advent, and I've had a few emails asking if there's going to be a 4th one in that series, and I'm not going to tell you what the series is, but yes, I've already designed the 4th one, and I will come out with that this summer. So if you know what I'm talking about, you got the Advent and you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's see, what's next? I was going to do my favorite large pieces from 2024 and my favorite smalls from 2024. So let me show you my favorite. And by large, I mean larger than a pin pillow or a small finish like that. So one of them is, I think this is where there is Liberty from Plum Street. And I stitched that just as soon as she came out with it because houses, I love that row of houses and I love the colors. So that was one of my favorites from 2024. Another Plum Street. I don't know. I feel like when I get a Plum Street that well, how can you not love everything that Paulette comes out with? But a lot of times I will stitch the whole thing right through because I so enjoy working on her patterns. So this one is Repeat the Sounding Joy. I think I did that like in January of this past year. All of these are on 40 count, and I'm not going to be able to remember what the fabric is. But if you need to know, email me and I will look it up because it's in my calendar. This is probably, well, these next 3 are like all-time favorites. And I can't believe I got all of them in one year. But this is Sarah Milthorpe from Hands Across the Sea. And this is the one that I did for my own self. You know how I'm doing samplers for all of the members in my family, extended and near. And so this is the one I did for myself. And I just love everything about this sampler. I love the red house. I love the symmetry of the motifs, which sometimes I get bored restitching a motif, and I did not. I love the borders. That's why I picked it to be my own sampler. I love it. So that was a favorite. This one, that I was so happy to stitch and so happy to get done. And this is A Year in Silhouettes by Joan Elliott. And she charted it in black. And remember, I added a little bit of color each month. I miss working on this. It was so fun all year to be working on it. And I started out thinking I was going to do 1 square a month. And then I was just having too much fun. I ended up doing like a whole row a month. I don't know. I tried to let it simmer for a couple of months in there in the middle, but I just love it so much. And it's done in DMC because I wanted the solid. I didn't want variations. And I wanted just the solid colors to be able to pop on it. And I haven't taken it to the shop yet. It's still hanging up in my family room, as is Sarah Milthorpe, as is this next one. My other favorite, Happy Christmas. This is by Carolina House Designs. I don't have her in the shop, but if you give the Attic in Mesa a call, they can get you hooked up with it, because that's where I bought mine. And this is, I did it 2023 because our whole family was together last year, and I did all of our initials in there. And anyway, I love this one too. And my last bigger one also comes with a oops. So, oh no, I have two. Before I give you the oops, Father Michael. I love this one. Just finished it recently, so I just showed it on a FlossTube recently for you. But I love the saying on it, which, well, I'll read to you. I need those. Lord, send me where you want me to go. Let me meet folks you want me to know. Tell me the words you want me to say, and tenderly keep me out of your way. Amen. And of course, Father Michael was the priest at 9/11 who passed away. But it's just a sentiment that I really love. So that's also a favorite. And then this is a favorite because it's beautiful, but it's, I don't know. I need your opinion. So it's the Peace and Goodwill little sampler by Brenda Gervais. I had it framed in a little tiny gold frame, which, you know, if you've had professional framing done, you know the little ones are more expensive per inch almost, because the labor is still the same. The materials, even though you're using a little less framing molding, that's almost the cheapest part of the thing anyway. So anyway, I spent a nice amount of money to get this framed. I absolutely love it. And then I'm going to just see if you can see where the mistake is. Somebody left a comment after I showed this last time that my cardinal is hovering. No feet, no legs, hovering. Well, it's so nicely framed on the back. I just think, can I handle like knowing that the cardinal has no legs? Can I just let it go, make up some funny story about that hovering cardinal, or do I need to take it apart and stitch the legs? So far, every time I look at it, I see the missing legs. Oh. And I know myself, like I know that I need to go stitch the little parts and pieces like that when I'm doing them, because otherwise I might forget. And sure enough, forgot. So what do you think? Should I go back and do it? I don't know. All right, then my favorite smalls from the year. First of all, these two, which come in the Birds of a Feather Happy Hearts sampler. Those are new additions to that pattern. On some of the patterns, I've done it for a couple. Sometimes I can't figure out something to pull out to make a small, but I always love to do it if I can. So in the Happy Heart sampler, I pulled the different motifs and made this, which would be a really cute Valentine for your Valentine, because you can put love in there and then initials in either side. You can put a date, like an anniversary date, in that little big heart in the middle. So I love that one. And I've always loved the heart and hand motif. So of course I love that one too. Which would also be really cute, stitched up and framed. These are done on 40 count straw, Weeks Dye Works straw. The Weeks Dye Works, I know that some people are iffy about using Weeks Dye Works. We only carry the Zweigart Weeks Dye Works. The only time I've ever thrown something away was when I was using Old Weeks and Old Weeks fabric, and there's still currently, Weeks still sells this fabric too. It's just a looser weave, and I felt like my stitches kept sliding under, and it was so frustrating. So we only use the Zweigart, and I love stitching on Weeks. I love their colors. I love their dye job. So anyways, whenever we order Weeks, we always specify that we only want Zweigart base. So these two are two of my favorites. This one, because I just love all the little parts to it. So this is Halloween Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I just thought they included some really cute little things. And also the Cocoa Quaker. Cocoa Quaker. I thought that was such a cute idea, so I did that. And I didn't change, you know how I usually change colors on their solid color Quakers. This one I stitched mostly as they said to stitch it. This one I just used my favorite red and green. You know, I told you last time in my FlossTube I have a ring of just some of my favorite Christmas colors. So I did change the actual colors, but the motifs and the coloring is the same. While we're on a roll, here's another Primrose Cottage that is one of my favorites. Sip, Stitch, Repeat. And I did this for camp, cross stitch camp this summer. Changed the colors, and also I put bobbins. I put spools around the edges. They had buttons. And I thought, well, I don't really add buttons to my cross stitching, so I put little spools. So I love that one. Which reminds me about camp. So, you know, we host cross stitch camp every year. It's a virtual camp that everybody can join. It goes June, July, and August, and we have challenges, we have prizes. We're definitely doing cross stitch camp this summer. I will have information about that on my FlossTube in May, and also in my newsletters in May. So you can kind of plan ahead. Well, for the past few years, we've also done a February winter camp, just a 1-month camp, and we are not doing February winter camp this year. And the reason is I need to figure out a different way of reporting, because Instagram, I used to just do Instagram hashtags, and you would hashtag your post, and then I would look under the hashtags and I'd be able to see what you did. Now they've screwed up hashtags, and I think they're even going away. So I got to figure out a way for people to be able to report their progress without everybody sending me a bunch of emails and photos, which is just going to get clogged up. So we're not doing winter camp and I've got to figure this out before May. So if you have any ideas, let me know. My other three favorite smalls, three more of my favorite smalls, are these Words for Home Happy, because I love the bright colors. I love the idea of putting a little happy birthday pillow or sign next to somebody's place at the table for breakfast. I love the little Happy Town, the word happy in the little banner. And I also love the balloons that say celebrate, which really you do the same thing, put it by somebody's plate or hang it up on the doorknob or whatever on a special occasion. So my last two favorites are free patterns for you that I came out with. I came out with one at Thanksgiving, and one at Christmas. Just a gift for all of you, just because I appreciate you all so much. And so the first one was Cocoa Cottage. This is a free pattern. If you go to our website and you click the down arrow next to the word patterns on the home page, it will list all of our designers and then also a free pattern section. And then the latest one that I came out with at Christmas time is Snowman Stitchery. And I did mine on 40 count platinum, maybe. It says on the pattern, I'm not sure. But I already have more designed. So I'll come out with more next year, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they will also be free. But they've been really fun to do, so I hope you enjoy them. And a lot of you have downloaded them, and thank you for all your nice notes about that. All right, so those are my favorite bigs and smalls from 2024. It's just exciting to think about all of the things we'll be able to stitch in 2025 and what some of my favorites will be. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, let's talk about 3 things. Then I'm going to show you my project bags plans, and then I'm going to show you a few new things from the shop. So 3 things. First thing, and this I saw Vanna, the Twisted Stitcher, posted this, and I thought, well, good for Vanna. I'm going to order it and see if it's good for me. And I really liked it. I'm on my second tub of it, and it is ROC Line Smoothing Daily Cleansing Pads. All right, I linked to that below in the notes. It's a really thick pad, and it's a little rough on one side and smoother on the other, and you just, like, you know, takes off makeup or whatever, but it also kind of helps slough off those dead skin cells that we all get. And when you do that, then your moisturizer works better. And I have seen a difference. So I really like it, and I will continue to use it. It is so dry here in Colorado that we always have dry skin. So being able to use this has really helped. So ROC Daily Cleansing Pads. All right, my next one is Baquet. I don't know, it's probably French. Caramels, sea salt caramels, okay? This is what it is. It's got little green tags on the ends. It is the best caramels. They are the best caramels you will ever taste if you like caramel and sea salt together. We have these individually for sale in the shop at the checkout because people like to have 1 or 2 as they're leaving. But I don't have them online because they'd smash in the mailers that we mostly use. But I linked to a set of it, package of it on Amazon. So I linked to it in the notes below. So if you like sea salt caramels, these are the best. Somebody was checking out today and they're like, oh, those are the best caramels. I'm like, I know, right? So that's 1 and 2. And then number 3 is an Instagram account that I would love for you to check out. And she is hilarious. Her name is Julie Story, all one word, Julie Story. And she's a comedian, and she does, well, it's hard to even explain. I don't think I've shared her before, right? If I have, go see her again. But she's hilarious. She does plays the part of, it's too hard to explain. Go check her out, Julie Story, and I link to her below as well. All right, let's talk about, well, first I have to show you a find that I got at the antique store. So, look at this old suitcase. I love the shape of this. I remember my mom and dad having suitcases like this with this color brown trim and then the yellow, whatever that is, fiberglass. Good grief, so heavy suitcases of those days. But I was at a local vintage shop here in town, Vera's Beautiful, House Beautiful, I think it is. And she had this open with a Christmas tree in it, silver Christmas tree, which I loved, and ornaments, which I took off the Christmas tree. I just haven't gotten rid of them yet. And I used the Christmas tree at the shop for Christmas, redecorated it in, you know, polka dots and red and white, and it was so cute. I love that tree. But what I want to do is now repurpose this suitcase, because that's half the reason I loved this particular tree and case together. So, you know, ripping this out. Okay, I know that I showed you a train case like a year or two ago that I said I was going to do that too. We're not going to talk about that because I haven't done anything with that yet. And that doesn't prevent me from buying another suitcase, right? Because you can buy suitcases when you want to repurpose. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cover it and decoupage it, and I'm not going to wait 2 years to do it like I have with the train case, and I'll show you when I'm done. So that was my antique find. All right, let's go through things. Okay, these are the things, and there's 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if this is, yeah, 4. 4 things I'm gonna for sure finish, unless I got these out of order. Then I'm gonna show you 1, 2, 3, 4 things I'm gonna make progress on. And then I'm gonna show you 8 things that I'm gonna start. I don't even know why I make a start list, because you know there are going to be beautiful patterns that come out in the meantime that I'm also going to have to start. Let's go through. So these are the things that for sure I'm going to finish this year. First one is this country store. Do you remember this? And the reason I love this pattern, it's no longer available, no longer in print, but the reason I love it is because my grandma had a little country store, little wooden, it was about this big, this tall. I have it still. I'll show you when I finish this. With little, it's just like a little wooden market with little drawers, and she'd let me put beans and lentils and different things in there. And this reminded me of that. So I started it. It is a lot of work because there's a lot of color changes. I didn't iron these. There's a lot of color changes. So there's like little things on the shelves, which are so fun to look at, but oh my gosh, a lot of work, a lot of color. And that's all the bigger it is, which this is probably 40 count linen, color linen by weeks, but it's gonna be so cute when it gets done. And it has Amish little boy and an Amish lady behind the counter. I don't know that I'll do them Amish. I might, I could, I don't know. But I'm telling you what, the pattern itself, just gonna show you a corner. Like, look at all those things going on in that pattern. Oh. But I'm gonna love having it when I'm done. So I am gonna finish that this year. There's a bucket load of colors. Look at all those. They're all DMC. Ugh, what a mess. Anyway, lots of colors in it. But fun to look at. It'll be fun when it's done. The next thing I want to finish, because I only have the bottom row to go. Teresa Kogut's With Thy Hands, again, because I love the heart and hand motif. Oh. When I was in Germany, I fell down the steps at Claudia's house. I stay on the 3rd floor, which is a lovely place to stay, but the steps going up there are like narrow not attic steps. They remind me of like if you were in a boat and you had to go below deck, and the steps are like this wide, and you have, anyways, like after I'd been there for 5 or 6 days, and I always stay up there, so I know the steps. I went crashing down the steps, and my elbow is still sore. So as I'm holding these things up and leaning on my elbow, I'm like, it's not good. I probably really bruised a bone. Anyway, here is the piece. Look it, I only have that bottom to go, and I love it. Oh, she does such great patterns, doesn't she? It's just beautiful. I will love having that finished. So you can see what I need to do on that bottom. So that is going to be a finish. I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna organize that. I might just determine to finish one of each of these a month. You know, I picked ones that I don't have that much more to do, so it would be doable to be able to do that. This one I've had at this point forever. I'm making it for Paul's grandma, who had seven sisters, seven of them total. And there's a lot, it's another modern folk embroidery, and it's called Mary Harry. And there are a lot of spaces to put initials. So I thought this would be perfect for her. I just need to find all of the initials of the sisters. Oh, I have a little more than just the initials. Shoot. Well, it's okay. I'll do it. Not ironed, but far enough along that it's not going to be that big of a finish. Okay, so then I have the bird. No, I got that done. Basically, I have the fruit baskets and the two flowers and then all of the initials. And it's small, 40 count. Can't remember what that fabric is. It's a classic, it's not a hand dyed. And then this one I really want to finish because I'm doing this for my grandma, my mom's mom. I already did a sampler for my dad's mom, which was the Gilles Leger. This one is Scarlet House Martha Evans. Oh, I love the colors in this one. And I mean, I have a ways to go, but I have a ways to go. The border's done. So I have the bottom and a little bit on the side. And then in the middle there, I'll put all of her information, which I've already charted, so I'm ready to go on it. But I really want to get that done because I really want that up on the wall. So those are the ones that I am going to finish in 2025. Put that on my list. Now, the ones I want to make progress on, and the reason I say make progress, and I might finish some of these too, but I feel like I have more to do than I can confidently say, okay, immediately I'll finish that. The first one is Sarah Sanderson by the Scarlet House. This was an exclusive on the Homespun group on Facebook, and we did sold the exclusive kits. And this will be coming out probably August of this year, I would guess. It's usually exclusive for a year. I got myself a strawberry bag. Sherry So Sweet. It's the bag maker. Sherry So, S-E-W, Sweet. The colors are just gorgeous. And as soon as I saw this, I saw the antique at Tanya's house, and I just love the two red houses. Well, not just that, I love that big bird in the middle. I love the row of birds on the trees at the top. Anyway, if you didn't get one and you love this too, just know it'll be coming out. So this is all the farther I got, which I don't quite understand, because when I first saw it, I could not wait for it to come out. I could not wait to start it. And then squirrel, something else comes along and off you go. All right, the next one I want to make progress on, Francis Eden sampler. I actually might be able to finish this. I'm not going to commit to that, but I really should. By Handwork Samplers. No, I'm not going to finish that. I have too much to do. But isn't it so cute? I got the whole other half, and then I have all of those, the two houses and the words at the bottom. Yeah, that's a little much. I mean, the thing is, if I was just stitching, I would definitely commit to it. But there are too many need to stitch things that I have to do for work that I can't just sit and stitch anything that I want to. And 2 more that I want to make progress on. Now this has been going on for too long. This is just ridiculous. And man, it's impressive when it's done. This is His Eyes on the Sparrow. I started that ages ago. Anytime there's a big pattern that has a lot of pages, I get it spiral bound like this because it's just easier to then open it up and stitch from it. But I had a long way to go. Even though I want it on my wall, there's still a long way to go. I'm stitching on 25 count mushroom Lugana 1/1 because it is big and I wanted it to be not quite that big on my wall. So progress on that. And the last one I want to make progress on, and then we'll go to the ones I want to start, which really I have no business starting new ones if I still am showing you these, but we all know I'm going to do it anyway, just like you would also do that, most of you. This one, Elizabeth Furness from Hands Across the Sea, I just think those colors are stunning, and those big, are those cabbage roses? I don't know. So pretty. Still love it. Now, this is all I have done, so now you can see why for sure I'm not going to finish that this year because there is so much left to go. I watched Brenda and Laura, Brendan the Serial Starter, finally caught up with FlossTube this week, and so it was the one that they put out in mid-December, and I thought it was funny when Brenda said her word of the year is going to be focus, because I had already decided that's my word of the year. And really to me what it means is I want to spend less time on social media on my phone than I do currently, or I have in the past couple of years. It just sucks you in, and I love seeing everybody's posts on Instagram, and I love, keeping up with everybody, but I spend a lot of time on it. And I just have things like this that I really would rather be having that time spent on. So I've started designing my pillow. I'll show you that next time. You know how I do a little pillow with my focus word each year. So I've started designing that, but I haven't stitched it yet. So I'll show you that when I get to it. But going through this is what I did on New Year's Day. I went through all my project bags and decided, okay, these will finish, these I'll work on, these I want to start. And there's just so many that I love. So I need to do something. All right, so one of the ones that I'm going to start this year is the Garden Glade. And I bought this when I was at summer school at the attic last summer because I loved Jean's, what is it called? When she does her own thread conversion. I loved the threads that she used. So the Kathy Barrick pattern, which I need to get in the shop, but if you want their conversion, get the pattern at the attic and ask for their conversion because it's beautiful. The colors are so pretty in that, aren't they? Not my usual pattern that I do, but I just was enamored with it. And then this one was a kit that we got at summer school, and I want to do this one because I love those colors. It's a long, narrow alphabet. So I want to start that. Look at this little skinny, narrow piece of fabric gap. I also want to start, and I know you're tired of hearing me say this, but I still haven't found exactly what I want to stitch it on, but Peacock Unicorn Badger. Also not my typical pattern that I typically do. But there's something really fun and whimsical about that. This is by the Scarlet Letter. We do have these in the shop. And I showed you 2 fabrics and y'all voted, and I just still have not fully committed to either one. But I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna start it in 2025. Oh my gosh, there's so many I want to start. Oh, there's Another one from the attic. This is huge. I think I bought a piece of 46 or 56 count. I don't know because it's huge. And it's called Pour la Fête, for your party. I am doing it on Cedar River. I'll tell you what. Spindrift, 46 count. Well, thank goodness it's 46 and not 56. I don't know if I could have done 56. And all the colors. That's such a big project. Do I really want to start that? But it's so cute. They had one done up that was getting framed when we were there. That sealed the deal. All right, this is a small one. Relatively small, but I just think it's so cute. Anne Marie's Pocket by Lottie Da, right? And I just like it because it seems like, and I'm not going to make it into a pocket, I'm just going to frame it, but it seems like a nice size. I considered doing this one for my blessing sampler too. It would have also worked, but then I started the other one. 3 more. This one, thank you to the lovely FlossTube viewer who offered to sell me her pattern, because I have wanted this pattern forever. Peaceful Paradise. It's got some bright colors, brighter than you think. Who's this by? Midsummer Night Designs. I don't think it's available any longer. So I treasure this pattern and I want to get it started. I know that's a lot of writing, and I have another one I'm working on that is also a lot of writing. All right, Whilst Iris Naps, Mary Gibson. Oh, it's just another one with 2 red houses. Wouldn't that look fabulous next to Sarah Sanderson? Well, now I want to do both of them, finish both of them. Okay, beautiful. I'm so happy to have Whilst Iris Naps in the shop too. So that, I haven't even pulled the threads for that one. I'm going to. I'll leave that out. I'll do that tomorrow. And the last one is that other big one I was telling you about. I wouldn't let myself start this until I got my dad's sampler done, because really, do you need to have 2 modern folk huge ones going at the same time? I mean, you might, but I do not need to do that. So this one is the Fruits of Plenty. Less spaces, less spots for personalizing, but what as I was looking at it, what I think I'm going to do is these 2 triangles at the bottom, I'm going to leave the designs off and personalize in that spot. Because otherwise I like the symmetry of all the hexagons and all of this going on. I'm doing it in 4 colors, and I'm doing it on, I should just buy a pair of glasses. I only need readers, and then I can't look. You don't need to know. I'm doing it on 40 count platinum, which is also what I did my dad's on. And these are the colors that I'm doing it in. And I look forward to deciding what colors for what parts. If you if you go on Instagram and type in Fruits of Plenty, SAL, you'll get a lot of different color options. Now, he did it in just the 2 colors, light and dark blue, but it's so inspiring to look at what colors people have used, but I'm going to use 4. And I'm just going to pick and choose what I want to be what color, which is going to be fun to stitch. As always, I probably overbought because I bought 2 skeins of the green and 2 of the blue, but you never know. All right, so that's my plan. Things I'm going to finish, things I'm going to put stitches into, and things I'm going to start. That's my plan as of January 3rd. Now, next month it could totally change, but I'm writing it in my book of days. All right, let's talk about winners of the drawings from last month. Then I have drawing for this month. Then I have not a whole lot of new things from the shop to show you, but some fun things. All right, so last time I did 4 drawings, 1 for project bag, and then 3 for pattern sets that somebody donated to the shop for camp drawings and giveaways, which I so appreciate when you guys donate for those things. So the winner of the fall pack, I'm just gonna hold this up after I go through it. The winner of the fall pack of patterns is Emmy Rose 22A, Emmy Rose. The winner of the winter pack is Robin Mixon 6999. The winner of the Christmas pack is Bev Durham 6180. And the winner of the berries bag is berries on the bag. You had to use the word berries to win. Cheryl Fickus 3. So here are the winners. And if you are one of those people, please email me. My email address is in the notes below, and we'll get those shipped right out. Okay, lastly, I want to show you just a couple of new things from the shop, and also I got more big robots that I want to show you. First of all, I added a new line of stickers because these are retro stickers and they are super fun. I just brought a few of them with me. Look at this lettuce head and tomato head. Some of these are staying home with me because I'm putting them right into my new book of days. I love the cat, of course. Cherries. Mr. Pickle. Now, when I first saw him, I thought, well, he's cute. I don't know if I'd use him, but they sent a magnet Mr. Pickle that we've had on our fridge at work, and the more I see him, the more I just fall in love with him. Camper, which would be cute for your June book of days space for cross-stitch camp. It's a little, now this reminds me of the Jetsons. Space Girl. Little duck for Easter. So check that out. We have a lot of stickers because we sell a lot of stickers. So if you type stickers into the search box on the website, you'll get a whole lot of options. These I just put up. These are pin keeps made from Under the Woolen Willow. And I love them because they have tomato on them. And she hand does all of that. So we have those. We have, I've shown you the little notes before. Somebody emailed and asked me if I could show the actual card. This is the actual card. This is a clear container. So cats, a little ball of yarn on the back. Oh, here's Santa. Santa's cute. We have a couple of Christmas ones that would make good gift tags next year. A balloon for cute little inserts for birthday gifts or celebration gifts with confetti on the back. And then also we added in, oh, here's another Christmas one. I love this one. A little wreath, and it has a wreath on the back too. They also have little carrying cases. So like I have gotten a few different sets of these, and you can keep, I think, up to 20 cards in these in your purse. So if you want to jot somebody a note, you know, you're somewhere and you want to tell somebody they had great customer service or whatever, it's fun to keep these one of these in your purse. There's 3 colors, blue, green, and pink. The other thing we use them for is floss drops, or you can use them as an ID card for your project bag and put it in a little luggage tag and hook it onto your project bag. So we will continue to stock these because you guys love them and so do we. And then we added in Avlia embroidery, or not embroidery, cross-stitch kits. So, and they're beautiful. I look at these and I just think, I want to do that because it looks like such a classic piece. So they do them as table mats or table runners or little candle mats. And they come with the fabric and the threads. And they're just gorgeous. So I just brought a few home to show you. but take a look on the website because there's a bunch of them. Isn't that gorgeous, the blues? I also love this, the blues. Oops, blues and greens. That's one of my favorite color combinations, is blue and kind of a spicy green. This I just think is so classy looking. So super fun. I love this paint box one. Look at all those little colors. So check those out on the website. Last thing I have to show you, oh no, let's do the drawing, and then drawing for next time. So this is a kit that I got at the Country Sampler retreat this summer, and it's from Violets and Verses, Jennifer, and she had a bigger project, and I thought, well, I'll probably do the big project, not the small project. So I'm going to give the small one away, and it is a drum, super beautiful, and it comes with the finishing kit and the fabric, not the thread, because I think I have to use the thread for the big one, but it doesn't have that many colors. So anyways, if you would like to be entered into this giveaway drawing for next time, use the word drum in your comment. All right, last, I got some more big stitching buddies from Diana at Junkyard Bots. You know how much I love these robots. And I'm just going to show you what I got for Christmas. I'll show you the next time. But these are just so fun. She is so creative. And the more you look, the more you see. And so I wanted to show you some of these big ones in person. I showed last time, I showed you the 2 lamps, which I still have. Look at this. Is he a cyborg? Cyclops? I don't know. Look at his hands doing the hang 10. He's got a little thing here. Look at his legs. He stands on a tin. He's got Mr. Q on the side. Honestly, she is just so creative. I don't know how she comes up with all these things, but they're super fun. He's got sewing bobbins for his ears. But I like his buck teeth. That's my favorite part. Mr. Q. All right, and then this one was so cool. And we have a pair. We have the pair. So this is an antique ice skate, like a real antique ice skate, which you know is probably hand forged. Little beautiful. And then she put antique roller skating wheels on, and then made this little, this is the lady, and then there's a guy one that we have too, and it's a steering wheel. So she made it into like a little roadster. So creative. 2 more big ones. This one I thought was adorable. It is a bear cub. Look at his little round ears. He's got a little tail. She's so, and then roller skates again on wheels. And then the last one I brought is one of the dogs. We have 2 dogs, but I left the other one. He's my favorite. He even has a little dog tag on it from Indiana. But here is, and she makes these with antique opera glasses for eyes, and she said they're getting harder and harder to find, so I don't know how long she's going to make dogs, but look how pretty those antique opera glasses are. And then I love the clock face on the back. Again, antique roller skating wheels. It's got a fun tail. And I brought 2 littles because really what we sell most of are the little ones, but if you've fallen in love with the little ones, you might need a big one, kind of like I had to do. So I just brought 2. We have a lot of the little stitching buddies, and what I do is I have 2 of them sitting next to my stitching spot, and I have all those old wooden antique spools, and they each sit on one of those. So I thought that one was cute because the face is the letter J, so it looks like he's smiling. And I liked the star block. This one was also cool because I know that his block, she said, came from an antique architectural set of blocks, so that was kind of different. Most of the blocks have initials on them though. All right, so those are the bots for this time. We are going to have her come to the shop next summer when she's out here again to do a trunk show. So if you are local, you'll have to come and see all of her stuff because it's unbelievable. I think that's everything. I know this went a little long because it's been forever since I've talked to you guys, but thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. Thank you for the thumbs up on the videos and for leaving comments. I always read those comments. Last time I got a little behind on comments because then I went off to Germany for 10 days. But I really try and stay up with the comments, and that's how I feel like I get to know you guys, and it's fun to chat with you in the comments. So I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.